I did the Oscars 10 times. I consider myself the artistic director of the show, of the musicality of it anyway, because it was, again, not unlike Fame. Debbie Will Determine. It was what I could think of. I was brought on by Gil Cates the first time. And I had a little bit of a swagger about it because I'm like, child, it's about time y'all called me over here. Y'all had all these other tired children. It's about time. So they had this big idea. I had already done an incredible number on Motown that told the history of dance, of music, and through dance. It was incredible. And I think, in fact, they wanted that because they wanted to do, it was the 100th, I think it was the 100th anniversary of film. They wanted to do the history of. So they thought I could do it. And I could, and I did. So I had so many ideas. Oh my God. Because, the movies, I go to the movies every week. I still go. Every week, not just to eat the popcorn, although this is an attraction. I like the big screen. I'm a fan of going to the movies. So to me, the core of every movie is boy meets girl, boy loses girl, and there's a war. I'm talking about in some of there's somebody fighting somebody. Even in Feifel, American Tail, the mice against the cats, there's somebody fighting. So I will never forget the first time I sat down with them, and I was full of all these ideas, and I was talking about the battle that, we would create this movie, and we would actually pay homage to great movies on the way that would give us music, footage, all this stuff that could be so rich, and we'd shoot footage. I mean, I was in it. And then I said, we'll have the backdrop of a war. And then somebody screamed, oh my God, for God's sake, they took a woman. I don't know where it was, somewhere in the Middle East. I'm like, when have they not taken a woman? I don't know what happened, something happened. I said, name a day when it doesn't happen. In Africa, in the Middle East, in Israel. Name some place. It's just not something we need to run away from, is what I said. So Gil Cates said, yeah, let's do Debbie's idea. So he actually assigned me a new editor and let me go for it. And I actually had people going in and out of the screens. It was incredible. And then the day before we did it, he said, okay, he looked at me and said, kid, what's plan B if this doesn't work? I said, honey, there is no plan B. We are committed. And it was incredible. It had everybody just going crazy. So then they asked me again, and I would, create all these things. I know that my work inspired Disney to go into the theater. I did Beauty and the Beast on stage. I did Aladdin on the stage. I did all this stuff on the stage. I took cartoons and made them live. I took songs that were obscure. I will never forget when Maria de My Soul was nominated. And they were like, what? I said, look, okay, it was from Mambo Kings. And I was a fan. I had seen the movie. I said, look, we'll get Celia Cruz. And they said, who? I said, okay, let's get Placido Domingo. They said, yeah, Placido. I said, we'll get Arturo. So I put together a thing. I said, they won't even know what the song was by the time I finished. The number almost got a standing ovation. It was so hot. It was so hot. They kept asking me. And I was surprised and I think they kept asking me because I would come up with these great ideas. I was creative. The last one I did was Crouching Tiger. And by the time I did that one, I felt like, maybe it's time, because I had such a battle about what the set was going to be, because I didn't want it to be literal to what the set was in the movie. The minute you just do what the movie is, you're dead. You can't. I said, I want it stylized. So then the designer calmed down. He had a meltdown, and then calmed down and designed something that worked brilliantly. 10 times. I probably have the record for that too. I don't know. You go look and tell me. Tell me, do I have the record? You know what? It was interesting because I was so praised for doing it. The Aladdin number that I did two. The 2 songs were nominated. I did all this stuff, and people loved it. Then after the second time, then they started ragging me. Oh, she's back again. Why are they dancing on the Oscars? They started writing nasty things. And then finally it was announced there would be no dance on the Oscars. And I'm like, okay, fine. Sorry. Duh. We're the only culture in the world that separates our arts. Everywhere in the world, if they're celebrating dentistry, they're dancing and singing about it. Nobody's trying to, sit there and grind teeth all day. But they said there was no dance. But what did they do? They had to have a kick line, honey. They had to do Blame It on Canada, a spoof, and they had to have a kick line. They just couldn't do it without us. I was so happy.